Hi. Good to see you guys. So let's get started. So let's go with Nasdaq. So Nasdaq, very similar price action like S&P 500. They're pretty much identical to my how I see the market. So I like what the current market is doing now. We had this bearish push down, right? We were looking for a short from somewhere here, and then price once we broke out, but we did not continue lower. Instead, we formed this kind of ascending channel continuation correction. So it's a pretty big corrective. We're pushing the price up, but then latest price action I like about that we're getting bearish kind of price action. We had a head and shoulder from the top, quick bearish move, and then a quick kind of a correction. And then I was mentioning that look for a breakout out of this overall channel. So we did get that. We did see price break out here. So this is all good. This is all good for us who are looking for a short trade. Okay, that's personally all I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a buy. So I see price broke out this channel here and then kind of waiting to see what it will do in this general area. I want to see a correction to form here to pretty much the size of this or something equivalent that is showing us that there's going to be continuation from this point forward, and seeing kind of the previous low as a potential target. No matter how you see this is going to be pretty good risk reward. So I want to see just a little bit more development. Likely you're going to get this development in the New York session, of course, even though this is a Oanda CFD, but obviously we know when the indices, especially U.S. indices, that we're going to wait for New York market open and then see how the price will do in that point forward. So that's what I see on Nasdaq. Okay, so I'll go over S&P. It looked pretty identical to me. That we had this push down, and then we had the same thing, kind of ascending channel correctional structure. And then from the top here, we had the first impulse correction, and we're impulsing out of this overall channel, which is good. So once again, waiting for something to develop here. Correction here in this kind of size would be very ideal. Again, similar like this, right? You can see that this was a clear correction to correct this move, and we're getting the next kind of an impulsive move. Okay, so waiting for a correction here to develop, and then same thing, kind of targeting the previous low would be pretty ideal. Okay, so that is S&P. So Nasdaq, S&P, these are the better two that I see in terms of U.S. indices. There's down as well, but I don't. I would prefer the other two a little bit more, just because I see this move still a little bit not. The other two, the correction just seemed a little bit better, and we had kind of a breakout out of that, right? And this is a little bit more corrective. Okay, so that's why when it comes to filtering the trades, I would pick these two out of and better than down. It's not that this won't go. It's if they're going to fall, they're going to fall together, right? They're going to be the same. But Nasdaq, S&P, just a little bit better price action that I would pick them over the other one. Okay, so that is the U.S. indices. So let's continue. Let's look at Aussie 200. Remember, I forgot who brought this one up last time at the Telegram. I kind of mentioned this as well, and I said, when the price is in this area, don't try to jump in right away because it can really go both ways, right? You can either go break up and then continue forward, or break out of here and then a lower time frame correction continue. And I mentioned this, I think was during the weekly that I'm more favor for a sell, okay? And because the price is still in this area, okay, I personally, my preference is I won't be joining. I know maybe some of you guys are looking for some sort of reversal entry or something like that. That's possible. I do see that is one entry. But personally, I like to see the price break this previous low, and then lower time frame correction would be just the more ideal trade for me, because this is a correction nevertheless, but is not confirmed in my, at least for my personal opinion or the way how I trade, is that this is not 100% telling you that it's going to be a reversal correction. This can be a continuation correction for this move, and we're just getting the continuation upside, right? So to me, there's not enough kind of a price action data or movement to give me that confluence yet. Okay, when the confluence would be just waiting for the strong bearish push out, right? Strong bearish push out, breaking the previous kind of a low point, and then a correction here would just be a better trade for me personally. and just the safer trade. I'll still get the risk reward no matter what. I'll miss maybe 1% or 1.5% here, but that's fine. I'd rather wait for a more confirmation entry for me. Okay, so that is Aussie 200. I do like this one, so I will set alert here and then see kind of how the price will do in the upcoming kind of the London session to New York session. So if it's going to happen, it's going to happen, now, right? Or in the next 12 to 24 hours within the day. If we're going to see the move coming down, we're going to see it very soon. So that is Aussie 200. Okay, so let's move on to a few other ones that I think it's okay. These are the European ones, but still look pretty bearish to me personally. I still see a potential sell. They're going to be very identical among the German, Europe, and France. So still prices all going to be in this kind of ascending kind of a structure that we had the impulse from. So is this going to be all a correction? We're going to get the next push down. The only way to find out is a little bit more confirmation from the market. This I mentioned to weekly outlook that can be a head and shoulder, and it looks like that it is forming that right shoulder. And if we get the push out, we get the lower time frame correction, then I do see the short can continue. And it's going to be very same with the Euro one as well, right? Impulse correction and looking for the next impulse, head and shoulder pattern within this kind of ascending or parallel channel. Very similar price action among all these indices. And to me, they're all kind of telling me the same thing, telling me the next bearish move can happen. Okay, not yet confirmed, but looks to me is very, there's going to be a better probability chance that we're going to get the next kind of impulsive phrase. And last one, Nikkei or Japan 225. Overall kind of the ascending channel structure, and then we have this ascending kind of channel within the larger kind of a parallel ascending channel. So this is all good price action, and we're pretty much approaching to the previous kind of a top area. So is the price going to kind of just continue correct a little bit more? I do like to see that a little bit more. So price is getting squeezed among this, and then see what will happen. Are we going to get reversal price action? That is tend to how the indices move anyways. You're gonna kind of correctly move up the price, and then once it correctly move up to a certain point, you're just going to see the very sharp drop, right? We talk about this in the weekly outlook, that most of the indices, when they move, they're going to move in this fashion, right? They're going to move this consolidation kind of push up, and then you're going to see the next drop, very sharp, okay? You're going to see the kind of the push up and then very sharp like this. And if we look at COVID, same idea, right? Steady, 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 and then you have the COVID drop, okay? Doesn't really matter because the news is just the market is reacting to what's going on in life, right? People are buying, and then there was just no really clear correction all this kind of period of time. And once coronavirus hit, everyone in panic mode, they start selling their stock, and that's how market crashed, right? So I'm not saying it's going to happen here, but what I'm saying is that you can expect, a short-term kind of push, short-term bearish in the market, and it looks pretty clear to me that most of the indices are showing me pretty much the same. Okay, so that's at least how I see on equity, indices and global market. So kind of expecting at least a short-term kind of bearish move. Okay, short-term bearish move, and then could be just a corrective phrase. But do see the short-term move as we see a little bit more confirmation from the market. Cool. Andre, new to your stream, love your market breakdown. Hey, appreciate it. Yeah, just if you like more, just type in my Telegram. I update all the links there. So you feel welcome to catch me on all of the other ones. So that's all the indices. Hi, everyone. So see a lot of you guys on. Good. Happy to see new faces as well. So that is all I see on indices. If there's any question, let's go on to our good Forex, right? Let's go on talk about Forex. That is obviously my main thing to go over. Those of you who are new here, I'll go over Forex a little bit more in depth. Okay. So I know there is a few questions in the Telegram about a few pairs, so I'll go over those as well. So let's go over dollar index. So I'm still very bearish. I'm still very bullish on the dollar pairs. Okay, I'll explain this why. I was looking at when price broke up all of this ascending channel, and then we're potentially forming a correction here. And I was looking for a buy out of here, right? I was looking for, is the price going to break above this previous high? I want to see the price break previous high and then forming correction to push up higher, right? That was kind of more my confirmation. Instead, price didn't do that. We see the price just kind of trickling down a little bit, and then, but it looks like the lower time frame here is showing us differently. So let's take a look. We see this was the correction I talked about, and I said I want to wait for a price to at least break this high here and then form correction to push the price higher. That would be my confirmation. But we didn't see that from the market, and instead we had this kind of a bearish drop down from here. Okay, bearish drop down from here, and then currently we're potentially hitting this kind of a double bottom or a recent double bottom, you can say, from the price action, and we're getting a little bit bullish kind of activity here. Okay, so there's two ways of seeing this. Okay, and personally, I'm still looking this as pretty bullish to me. Okay, it's just that it's just making a larger correction. We had an impulse, correction, impulse, and this is just a more complicated correction, right? Still correcting this move overall. And if this move is going to push out from here, then we're definitely going to see more bullish activities. And for me, I was looking at the price like this is an inverse head and shoulder. And at the time, I thought this could be the right shoulder, and then we can just kind of continue upwards. Instead, if we really just zoom out a little bit, that we can really see that the structure just involved, that this is still, this would be the head, and then this is the right shoulder that we're developing, right? So structure is still evolving. This can just be the right side of the shoulder, and we can just be in the more complicated correction or complicated structure, and then still looking for the upside. Okay, still looking for the upside here to continue push at least to the previous high. Okay, so that's what I see on dollar index, and it's still looks pretty good. And I'll go through all the dollar pairs that I'm in, and I'm still seeing pretty good continuations. Okay, so hi everyone, good to see you guys. So good to see you guys. Let's continue. So hello. So that's what I see in dollar index. Let's take a Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar. Last time I think I updated you guys. That was so I'll update all this here. It will be easier. And then if you guys have a question, let me know in Telegram. So remember that this was the first trade I got in, and then moved my stop loss just above this area because we impulsively break down, and then was forming a correction. And my personal preference or personal risk management when it comes to this is that when we have this impulsive break, first I'll move it to break even, and I'll move it to around the previous low. So that's what I did, and move it to previous low. And when price started forming this overall continuation correction, got tagged out here exactly. So it's about 1-to-1, and that happens sometimes, guys. So this is one thing I want to address, is that it's not how you set your, how's your risk management and your trading plan. It's going to vary from different people, right? So in this case, my plan is telling me that I will put it into 1-to-1 profit because I don't want price to continue upward and just get a break-even trade after it have moved down about 2-to-1, right? That's not how I trade. I want to secure some profit, and that's within my plan to just secure that. And in this case, it didn't work out because price continued bounce up and peg me out, but that's fine because I know that we're in the impulsive phase of the market condition. So I'm happy to enter the trade back if I got tagged out for a break even or tagged out for a little bit of profit, because to me, the trade is still valid. To me, we're still seeing this clearly as this is the impulse, correction, impulse. This is just a larger correction, and we're just getting the next impulse. So I want to be in the impulsive phase of the market condition. I talk about this a lot, right? You want to be in the impulsive phase of the market condition. You don't want to be when the price is correcting, right? When price is correcting, you're not going to make too much money, right? When the price is impulsive, you're going to make more money when it's moving at a higher momentum, right? So personally, got back into this one after the price break. This was my entry here, and still looking at the previous low to see what happened. This one, just about 2.8 to 1. Okay, so my average, my risk management is always about 3-to-1 minimum. Some trades are going to be more, some trades going to be a little bit less, but 3-to-1 on average. So that fits my plan. This is just my first initial target, and I'll see if price can impulsively continue forward, downwards. Then looking for either scaling entries or just holding the trade for a longer term to the next kind of a higher time frame low. Looking on the higher time frame, looks very clean to me that we just had this impulse down correction and looking for the next impulse, right? So very clean to me that higher time frame is in our favor. Higher time frame is in a very good bearish kind of a move now. So expect this move to continue lower. So that is Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar can break a level of 0.7006. Certainly. That's what I mentioned. It's just that's my first kind of a target, first initial target to see what the price will do in this general area. Is it going to impulsively break it and form correction? Then I'm of course holding the trade. But if it's going to start dropping down and then start forming kind of reversal price action or just kind of chilling down to the lows, then I might look to exit, right? Because my decision or um, my strategy is based on what the price is reacting to the overall condition. If it's going to start going like this, very descending channel, very corrective, then I understand that this will be the price is not breaking this low and then it can continue upwards. Then I don't want to lose the profit, so and I'll look to exit the trade for a little bit profit. Okay. So that is Aussie dollar. Let's move on to Kiwi dollar. So because I'm in Kiwi dollar, I'll talk about this one. And so Kiwi dollar, we know that from the higher time frame, that to me is shaping up to be the better ones. In the beginning, I wasn't looking at because I wasn't sure what this part is doing. It's a little bit more consolidating, but as the price more develop, you're going to see it more clearly. So zooming on the higher time frame, to me this is a clear higher time frame double top. So price was in this ascending kind of channel formation, correcting the price, and you can clearly see that we have a left shoulder head, right shoulder developing. So very clear kind of price action. And I like these overall price action when we're at the top of the overall price condition. Right? You want to see these structures and price action when they're at the very highest or at the very lowest. That is going to have the best effects or the best probability for that desired direction. So looking at lower time frame, we see that this is the head and shoulder I talk about on the higher time frame. And looking at the previous price action, reason double top, and we have this M style pattern that I talk about, clearly ascending channel. We had the first impulse and then first kind of a continuation correction. And you can almost argue that this is an M style pattern, or you can see this as a smaller head and shoulder, but whatever it is, it's very clean that we're getting that next bearish move down, right? So looking for a possible entry, I understand that we're in this overall continuation correction, but I like this lower time frame kind of price. We had this ascending channel within the larger ascending channel. We had the first bearish push down, first kind of a continuation correction, and looking for a breakout. I saw there's clear lower time frame correction here as well, but a little bit too dangerous for me, so I opt for a breakout entry. So breakout entry out of this correction, and then looking for continuation, of course, right? So we're sitting at this low here. We're sitting at the bottom of this higher time frame channel. So I want to be a little bit more careful. I want to see what price will do in this area. Is it going to develop a little bit more corrective structure to push the price down? Likely, very likely, I do think that it is the probable case that we're going to get a correction here and we're going to get the next sell, okay? And just looking at the first target about the lows here for about 3.321, and looking at the overall higher time frame structure, well, looking at the lows here, right, that will be my second target here. So I want to see price has to impulsively break the previous low and then forming a continuation correction to push the price lower. Okay, so that is Kiwi dollar. I'm gonna go over dollar Swiss, okay, very soon. So let me just go over a couple other dollar pairs. Let's go over euro dollar. I think most of you guys mentioned this in Telegram about euro dollar, so I'll give you guys my take on this. I personally took 2 losses. This was the first loss I took, and then there was a second loss that I took about here or so. So this is just more understanding what the market is telling me, that the 2 trades that I personally got in was still valid to me when I do my journal. I do like the trade overall, but it didn't work out, and that's fine. So my understanding from the market, at least from the given condition, is that we can just create a longer or a deeper correction that is not the same as how I usually would see, and that's fine, right? Because that is how trading is, guys. You can take these good valid trades, good setups, and you can still end up in a loss. And when you do your journal and you understand, is it an emotional trade or is it a trade that is following your plan and you just take a loss, right? So I'm happy to take a loss here and then kind of re-observe what the market is telling me. So looking at euro dollar, because we had this push up, okay, we had this very strong bullish push up, but this is shaping up to like a pound dollar trade I mentioned. I'm going to go over that right after. But I like that we're potentially forming a potential 2 tops here, and that instead of after this bullish kind of a push up, instead of a continuation correction to continue, instead you can see that this is some sort of a lower time frame consolidation. You can say that this is a reversal correction for this move. So you have an impulse. Instead of continuation to push up, we have reversal, bearish push, and then potential bearish continuation, okay? But because I already took 2 losses here prior, and I don't want to, and I'm in the $2 trades already, so I won't really jump into this one. I would see that price, if this is a correction that's going to push down, then I do want to see it push down at least out of the structure here. Okay, once it pushed out of the structure here, and if there's lower time frame correction here in this area, then this will be a more safer setup. At least you're breaking this low, we're breaking out of this higher time frame structure, and then lower time frame continuation to push the price lower. Still the same target, you know, even when the trade was in here in this area, I was just looking for the same, right? Looking for the trade to at least get down to the low, right? So if this is going to form more deeper correction like this, then let it break out and then let it continue from this point forward. Okay, so that's euro dollar. Let's look at pound dollar really quick. Why do you not include any indicators could help identify top or lows or divergence? Good questions. I don't use indicators. There's a good reason for that, because I look at the price differently. I don't need the indicators. It doesn't help me in my style trading. In fact, it ruins kind of my potential targets. So I just choose it to have very clean charts. I don't want to include any of the indicators. So pound dollar, if you guys remember, this was talking about the same as euro dollar, right? Yeah, this double top, instead of this bullish price action to push up, there is no continuation correction. Instead, on the lower time frame, it was a reversal and then reversal continuation to push the price down. And why I exit the pound dollar and pound yen, I'll go over that. But I didn't like the price action once I see this period of consolidation. Obviously, we're in this Brexit kind of fundamental things going on. So anything can happen in terms of the market. Price can be a little bit more erratic, right? So this is when the market just opened on Sunday, I believe, and I didn't like this kind of a bullish kind of lower time frame correction. So I just manually exit for about 1 to 1 or so, and just keep an eye on this. But I rather see price now just breaking out of this overall higher time frame structure. It'll give me a little bit more confluence to get in. Otherwise, not going to be looking to get in anymore. Not going to looking to sell any of these at the moment. Rather to be on the sideline, especially what's going on with Britain. Okay, so that is pound dollar. Let's look at a few other dollar pairs and see what you guys like. Dollar CAD, I think someone messaged me on this one, and let's take a look. So dollar CAD, overall price action, right? This is why it's a little not on my A list or not on my go-to list, because it's not too clear. Okay, and I'll go this why is that I originally, if you guys will remember, that I was looking, we had a few set up from the bottom, right? There was a few set up for the buy, and then I think some of you guys got in the buys, right? I think just looking for the top, that's the first one, and then this overall correction, there was another buy here, and then I was looking at this correction to be the next continuation to push up, but instead we hit this like kind of the previous top, and then price being this kind of a bearish kind of price action. And when price was in this, and I was thinking that price may continue trigger down to the lows, and that would be a better buy setup for me. But we didn't see price hit that. Instead, this kind of be more of a slanted or deeper kind of correction to correct this move. And latest price action shows a kind of a reversal price action. It's a little bit ugly, or it's a little bit not clean. And then you have this price breakup, right? And it's in this kind of a descending channel. It could be a continuation, could be anything. So if I really have to say, I do see this can be the next push up, and then want to see price at least hit this high, and there can be decent risk reward here. At least looks like about 200 pips or so. But because there's just better dollar pairs, the one at least like Aussie dollar, Kiwi dollar, they're just clearly looking a lot better in terms of daily. In terms of higher time frame, you want to have higher time frame in your kind of behind you, right? When you enter a trade, it's going to give you a better risk reward, right? Higher time frame is going to be in your favor in this case. Whereas the dollar cat it's not really showing me that it's a very clean buy. Okay, it's kind of just showing me that it's going to be corrected for a little bit longer. Looks like it can go up here and then just like forming a longer kind of or deeper channel to correct this move, and then you're seeing the next down like this. And I don't think the risk reward is there. Okay, it's just there's better dollar pairs, and this is again when it comes to filtering, where you're going to choose a dollar pair to enter. You're going to know that if the dollar is going to move, if the dollar is going to get strength, most of them is going to get strength, right? And if it's going to lose strength, then most of them is going to lose strength as well. So there's no point jumping on every single dollar pair. If within my rule, I want to choose maximum 2 of the same currency, unless they're at break even. So if I'm in $2 trade, then usually if they're not at break even or in profit, I'm not looking to enter a third one. That's why filtering them is pretty important. Okay. So dollar Swiss. So this question: dollar Swiss, can it break 0.9080? 0.9080. I think it's somewhere here. Yeah. So maybe you have some support or whatever. Here's the thing. This is why for me the confirmation is the breakout, right? The confirmation is I don't really care what the price is going to do in this area. All I'm waiting for is it going to give me that bullish push out first, and then first bullish continuation. This is always going to be my confirmation because it gives me a clue that we're maybe in the next bullish phase of the market condition. We had the impulse, we had the correction, looking for the next impulse. So want to see a little bit more commitment from the market, and then getting this would be the better trade. But if it breaks this low, doesn't matter, right? If it breaks this low, we're still in this structure, right? Doesn't matter if it breaks some level or point. What it matters is what the price is. It going down correctively? You can break this point, and then it can even just go like this, and then hit the bottom of this channel, and then continue its bullish move, right? So don't worry about if it's breaking some level. If it breaks some level, and then if it forms lower time frame continuation correction, then that will be a message from the market that yes, we're not going to get this bullish move anymore. We're going to see a little bit more bearish move downwards. Okay, so that's what I see on dollar Swiss. Sorry, I missed this question. Do you draw trend line body to body or wick to wick? Normally I draw wick to wick. So normally in this sense, in this example, I draw wick to wick. But here's the thing, guys. Like the trend line is really, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to hit the top or hit the bottom, right? I mentioned this a few times. I'll mention this one again. Is that the trend line that I draw is just to show that there's a structure here. Okay, that there is a period of consolidation. You can see that price is in a swing high. There's a swing low. It's not in the impulsive phase anymore. This is the impulsive phase, right? You can see price is moving very fast, very sharp. That is impulsive, whereas this is clearly a corrective phase. Okay, so the trend lines are helping me to show you guys, or when I do analysis or posts, is to indicate that there's a structure here. But I personally don't need any of these lines. And I mentioned this many times, is that I don't need any line because I know this is the impulse. I know this is a period consolidation. This is the next impulse, next correction, next impulse, next correction, next impulse, right? I don't need the lines, okay? It's just you have to train your brain and train your head that you're just going to see it naturally. And the lines are just there as a guideline, right? It's not, some other strategy where if I break the top of the trend line, I'm going to start going buy. Nope. If I'm going to buy after it breaks some trend line, I'm going to wait for the first lower time frame correction because that is how price move, right? We understand price action is that after a strong breakout, I want to see a continuation correction and then to continue the buy. Otherwise, it can just pop to the upside and then quickly just retrace that and just taking all unnecessary losses. Okay, so I hope that explained the question on trendline. Wick to wick for me. Okay, so let's move on. That's all the dollar pairs I'm looking at, guys. Not much, just the Aussie dollar and Kiwi dollar looks the best. So let's jump into a few other ones. Aussie Swiss, I think some of you guys brought up Aussie Swiss. So even some of you guys catch this move, right? So that's pretty good. And that's a missed trade for me. I didn't catch this, but that was a good trade on one of you guys, I forgot. So how I see Aussie Swiss now, well, we're at this previous low now. Okay, we broke the previous low, which is all good. Okay, so this is good price action. This will indicate that Aussie is also losing kind of strength, right? We're shorting Aussie dollars, so we're expecting Aussie to get weaker and weaker. Okay, so Aussie Swiss, we price broke this previous low, which is good. We're in this overall kind of ascending channel, first impulse, correction, next impulse. Good. So what are we going to develop something here on a lower time frame? Definitely need to see that to give you the confirmation that this is going down more, right? Maybe in this kind of size or just going to trickle down a little bit more and then start building correction here. But whatever it is, that will be the confirmation, guys. I talk about this a lot, is that when price break out of some higher time frame structure, you want to wait for a lower time frame continuation to give you the kind of information that the price will continue lower. All right, so something like this will be ideal because we broke the low already. Waiting for a correction here to continue down would be good. Looking at a higher time frame, again, if you want to see overall price, we're in this previous price action had this ascending channel, push down, correction, push down, right? This is during the COVID time. So who to say that this could not happen, right? We have the same kind of ascending channel. First push down, if this is all the correction that we're going to make, then this can be the next push down and then more correction to push the price lower. All right, so that is Aussie Swiss. That's why I see Aussie Swiss, but nothing yet. Okay, I want to see a little bit more price development on the lower time frame here. So let's move on. Let's move on to Aussie Yen. Monthly strike rate, Bill. Trying to hit 40% if I can. A little bit because I aim for 3-to-1 risk reward, so my strike rate naturally would be lower, right? Because you're likely to be holding the trade to be hitting the 3-to-1. So it's not like someone who take a 1-to-1 risk reward trade, their strike rate must be high, right? You need to have a high strike rate if you're taking some sort of 1-to-1 strategies. You should have it at least 60-70% strike rate if you're going to have a 1-to-1 risk reward strategy. But because I'm comfortably taking the trade that's going to be 3-to-1 or more, I can have a lower strike rate and it will balance out my trade overall. All right. So let's look at Aussie Yen. My favorite one in this one, right? So overall structure, I mentioned this post last time, right? Ascending channel, impulse, correction, impulse, right? This is ascending channel, impulse, correction, looking for the next impulse. Nothing changes, looking for the previous low as a potential point. From the previous one, you can see that this is during COVID. Price hit this previous low, there was a lower time frame correction, and we just start crashing, right? I'm not saying this will happen this time, but this next impulse is still very likely and very favorable for us to happen, and then reevaluate to see what the price would do at previous low. So looking at lower time frame, this is very similar. I'll go over this trade as well that I got taken out because same thing as Aussie dollar. Okay, so my strategy, my plan is when I see an impulsive move breakout, naturally put it to break even first and then put it around the previous low. Okay, that's how I always want to set my stop once price impulsively break below. And again, because we pushed down already so much that we're just naturally going to be in a consolidation or a continuation correction. And same idea here, when price pop to the upside, forming this potential top, just get tagged out here. And no problem like this, guys. This is in my plan to move my stop like this. So I know that I'm going to get tagged out sometimes in profit or in break even. But I'm always going to enter back a trade. I'm happy to enter the trade back if I see the right price action to be able to get in. All right, so that's my second trade I got in, looking for a reversal from the 15-minute here, and then pretty much sending the stop like here as well. Okay, so I want to be in the impulsive phase, right? I told you guys that when the price is in the impulsive phase of the market condition, you can be a little bit more aggressive when it comes to your entries, because you know that price is going to be impulse very harsh. It's going to be a strong momentum. You don't want to enter when it's in the pure consolidation, right? Impulse, correction, impulse. Looking to see just the previous low first to see what the price will do in this area. So it's still going to give me about 3.421. And again, looking for the next low as the main target. Pretty much that's going to be the most risk reward you're going to get. But like I said, reevaluate when the price break this first low first, and then pretty much the next low, and then see what the price will do if it's going to continue downwards. I don't expect this to just go down in one line though. I do expect a push down, at least breaking this previous low, and then if there's going to form more continuation correction, then one more push down is likable. Right? So that is Aussie Yen. So there's a few one that I think you guys asked me in Telegram, CAD Yen and CAD Yen and Euro Yen. So I'll go over CAD Yen, Euro Yen. They're not my favorite. My favorite one are Aussie Yen and Kiwi Yen. I'll go over. The reason being, the higher time frame wise, the CAD Yen, it's a little bit unclear to what it's doing in this area. Okay, you can see that I was originally looking for some short once we see the price breakdown previous low, and then I was looking for a short here. I mentioned this a few times in the Telegram that I was looking, that was very clean. I was looking for a short. All I want to see is just a breakout or some sort of bearish push out and then lower time for continuation. That was my kind of the last confluence or the last last thing I want to see before the sell. But sometimes that didn't happen, and that's when price push up, and then and no more bearish kind of a momentum for me. And I got this question from another guy. I think he was saying that he took the trade and then he took a loss. And I said, was it in your trading plan to enter from the top, from a reversal kind of point of view? And he said, yeah, and that's fine, right? And I mentioned that for you to take these kind of trades, it will work out less often, but you will get more risk reward, okay, if the trade works out. And whereas for me, if I'm waiting for that breakout, waiting for lower time frame correction, I will be safer, but my risk won't be good as you. So there's pros and cons to everything, guys. There's no 10 out of 10. There's no perfect setup or perfect trade. There's always a catch, right? So it's just how it suits you as a trader. Personally, I'm more precautious. I'm more about risk management, more care about capital conservation, and that's why I will wait for that next breakout and next correction, and that's why I managed to save a trade here, right? But it doesn't mean that even if I see this breakout out and a lower time frame correction, that this trade has to work out either, right? It's just that for my personal plan and preference, I want to see that and then enter that, and I'm happy to take a loss like that. So back to CAD Yen, I really don't see much here. If I rather want to see price to continue up higher, seeing what the double top will do, seeing this previous top, is it going to give the price some reversal price action? Is it going to slow down here and then potentially start reversing, potentially forming an M style pattern like this? Previous top, double top, top of this overall structure, and then looking for a sell potential down to the previous low. Other than that, I don't see much here. I'm not interested in this buy. Maybe some of you guys seen this buy, but personally, I won't be interested. Let's jump over to Euro Yen. So Euro Yen, again, not surprised. What I was gonna say is that my setup, right? I talk about the setup. I mentioned that I want to see that breakout confirmation. If I don't see that, then no trade for me. So it was very clean to me from this point that we had this ascending kind of channel from this overall impulse. So an impulse correction, and then we're getting this next impulse. And if you're looking at the lower time frame, there was a correction here. I personally didn't enter this. I had a trade here that I entered, and then I remember I got off for break even once price pushed down. Didn't like this lower time frame kind of descending channel. It popped to the upside, just tagged me out for break even, and then price continued down, and I said, okay. If this is going to be a continuation correction, so wait for the breakout or wait for some sort of breakout and a lower time frame continuation to push down. And in this case, did not happen. So if did not happen, no trades for me, then happy to just be more on the sideline and see what will happen. I don't like how it just popped to the upside though like this. Okay, if it's going to be, if it was moving more corrective, then I will be more interested to see what the price will do. But because this popped to the upside pretty impulsively, and this looks like it can be forming something here, a continuation to push the price up, I won't be interested in anything at this moment. What I would be interested in is if this is going to continue upwards to this top, very same thing as Kiwi Yen, right? Is it going to form a double top or some sort of M-style pattern that this can just be a larger kind of structure to correct this move, and this is just a larger higher time frame correction and looking for the next push down. Okay, so that is one possibility, but for now, not interested in this buy. Same thing with Kiwi Yen, I'm not interested in the buy. All right. So let's look at pound yen. So remember I said pound dollar, pound yen. Pound yen was the other trade that I mentioned in my chat. Again, took same thing, just exit the trade for about 1-to-1 or so. Didn't like this overall erratic price action anymore. And again, when the market opens on Sunday, I didn't like this bullish kind of price action. You had this impulse down and then reverse impulse, continuation correction, impulse up again, continuation correction. I didn't like that at all, so I managed to set the stop loss about this area and then just get take out pretty soon here, and that's fine. And then again, same thing with pound dollar. My eye on this is now just waiting to be a little bit more development. While on the higher time frame, to me is very clean and clear that we're going to get the next down move, but on the lower time frame, it's a little bit choppy. I want to say it's not too much structure is forming here. I don't even want to draw this structure. It doesn't even look like a structure to me. You see a pop to the upside. There can be a double top here now. Originally, it looks good for a head and shoulder pattern. That's why my right shoulder entry. But now it looks like it's like a reverse kind of a head and shoulder now, right? So anything can happen here. So same thing with my reasoning on pound dollar. Happy to just be on the sideline for this one then and seeing a little bit more price action development. Last yen to go over Kiwi Yen. So Kiwi Yen I'm in as well. So looking at the higher time frame, very originally, and this is where I would admit that I was looking at it wrong, that when price was at this double bottom here, right? And I post a post here, I remember, I just want to find out from you guys. There's a post here that I was looking for a buy, right? And I'll explain this why. And you have to admit that, when the message or the market is showing you something different, you have to understand that and you have to change your bias, right? There's no emotion for me. So originally I was looking at this for a potential buy because we had this first impulse, we had this larger continuation correction, we had the top with price pushed down, and then we potentially finding a double bottom here, right? That's why I evolved the structure a little bit. Double bottom, price did not continue down. Instead, we had a bullish push up on the lower time frame, bullish correction, and then push up again. So I was thinking, am I going to get a continuation here? I do see this buy just to the top here would be pretty ideal, right? And nothing happened because the price did not push up. Instead, it's forming a reversal, right? You can see that this was originally I was trying to look for a buy. We just broke the top and then quickly just reversed back down, right? You can see that this now it revolves into a pretty ascending kind of channel structure. We had this impulse, correction, impulse, and then another correction looking for the next impulse, right? And looking at it from a lower time frame perspective, this was the impulse, this was a correction, this was the first kind of a lower time frame impulse, all of this correction, and we pushed the outside and at least breaking the previous low. And once I see this kind of a steep kind of ascending channel, I like this kind of overall correction. I know that it's going to be a continuation. You see Kiwi pair move like this quite often, right? You're going to see a strong sense of appear that will move up very sharp, and then you're going to get the next push down. Very similar like Kiwi Dollar here, right? You have this ascending kind of formation, you're going to get the next push down. Same thing, ascending kind of channel formation, next push down. Okay, so that's where I enter, just a simple breakout entry. Once this overall channel is complete, I just look for any lower time frame correction that is breaking out. Just set an easy stop order, just put the stop above the high, and looking to see what the price will do. We're reaching to this low now, but we're pretty impulsive. So I do see more probable that price will keep pushing down, and then lower time frame continuation to push the price to the previous low. And just to this overall higher time frame correction low, it's about 4.321, and I'll see if we can continue down to the next low here. Okay, so that is Kiwi Yen. So very clean. So I mean Kiwi Yen, Aussie Yen, Kiwi Dollar, Aussie Dollar. Okay, those are the 4 trades I'm in, and I'm out pound dollar and pound yen. All right. What website do I use for your trading journal plan? I don't have a website, but I do post everything on my Telegram for free. So if you're interested in those, add me on my Telegram. I do post all my. I even have journal that I will be posting starting this month, because I just started a small account for everyone to observe, and then I have my FX book for that as well. So just to show transparent, clear, and clarity on everything. So that's how I can start journaling, at least for the one that I'm going to show you guys in Telegram, not my personal one, not my other ones that I trade. Okay, so that is that. Can you make a video? Can you make a video on types of reversal structure at the top of the structure or bottom of the structure in future for education purpose? I do have a video like that, Lucas. Let me just see if I can find it. I do have a video like that. Just let me find this quickly. Let me see. This is a video, Lucas. I'm posting in YouTube. Copy that link. You should get that. All right. Hey, no problem. So let's continue. So that's all the yen pair, guys. So let's go through a couple other ones. Okay, Euro Aussie. I think most of you guys are talking about this one. Let's take a look, right? And remember on weekly outlook, when price is in this area, and I mentioned that there's really 2 possibilities, and both of them would make sense, right? If you guys don't remember, watch my weekly outlook a day ago. I talk about when price is in this, that although everyone is probably looking for a sell, and I mentioned that it can really go either way, and don't just jump into a trade when it's in this area. This is the same thing why I talk about that this Aussie 200, right? I talk about that when price is in this kind of a consolidation, don't jump in the trade. Let it consolidate, let it pop up or pop down. They'll give you the better confluence to enter that trade. So it's the same thing as Euro Aussie here, right? When price is in this kind of a correction, it's the same. It can be a reversal correction to bring down, or it can be a continuation correction for this move to push up, right? That's really why you have to work on your emotion and don't get trapped in this kind of area, because it can really go both ways. All right. And even though I talk about the short is more probable, right? I wanted to show this. I see that this is the impulse. This is larger kind of continuation correction. And we're at the top of the price action again, looking for sell. Very simple enough, right? But I'm not just going to blindly jump into a sell here, hoping it will go down. I need to see a little bit more confirmation that the price is going to reverse, right? Reversal price action here, breaking out of this overall kind of a correctional channel, looking for a lower time frame correction. That's going to be my trade. But if I don't see that, then I'm not going to enter the sell. All right, and that's how I managed to not get stuck in this kind of a consolidation where price can just move up and down for a while. And if you have a small tight stop loss, you're just gonna get tagged out. You're gonna get tagged out, right? Excuse me. And I don't want to have unnecessary losses, especially if you have a bigger account. You really wouldn't jump into these small mediocre trades, right? You want to conserve the capital. You want to be waiting for the confirmation and then confirmation setup to jump in. Okay. So anyways, so how I see Euro Aussie now? Well, like I said in the weekly outlook, if I see the price breakout, and that will change my perspective. When I see a clean kind of a continuation structure, continuation correction, that will change my whole bias on the fact that we just impulse down, we had this larger correction. Instead of a continuation correction to go down, this can just be a reversal correction now to push the price up higher. All right, so don't discount the fact that that can happen. Right, don't just, when you have analysis, when you have a bias, you need to have a bias in the market, right? But when the market is slowly showing you otherwise, when the price action is showing you otherwise, then you need to adapt, right? You need to change it. You need to understand that, okay, so my previous analysis for a potential sell is no longer valid. If they're going to be correcting here, then I need to start looking at it the other way, understanding that this is no longer a continuation correction to push this move. This becomes a reversal correction to correct this move, and we can get the next up move. Okay, it's just like that, right? There's no emotion, guys. There's no emotion for me to be wrong on analysis. Okay, I'm happy to be wrong because I just save money, right? I just save a trade here. Happy to be wrong. Happy to let the market tell me more information what it's going to do, and I'm going to capitalize on it. Okay, so that's what I see on Euro Aussie. I don't see the short anymore. Okay, I really don't see the short unless some kind of miraculously price just impulse right back into this, like super sharp move on the lower time frame, just like a quick impulse right back down, and then lower time frame correction to push down. That may change my perspective, but I really highly doubt that will happen because we just impulse super high like this. What is more likely to happen now is going to be a continuation correction here to continue upwards, sorry, and that is what I would want to see if I'm going to be entering a long position. Okay, so that is Euro Aussie. So yeah, hope that answer whoever asked me that in Telegram. I forgot. So let's move on. Let's move on to let's talk about EuroCAD. I think there was one of you, I think it was Brian, maybe, I can't remember. Someone asked about EuroCAD, right? Or no, sorry, there was another person. Okay, anyways, because we didn't break this previous low, okay? I mean, not break previous low, but there's no continuation downwards, right? Pretty much price is reacting to this previous low. And all these short ideas that I had, I always talk about, I want to see price break the low, continue down, lower time frame continuation. That will give me the next sell possible, the next kind of confluence for the sell. But if I don't get that, then I'm not going to look to like hold the trade indefinitely, right? So looking at kind of a lower time frame here, you can argue, personally, when I'm seeing this, at least, I can argue that this can potentially be forming a continuation channel, kind of ascending channel structure to push down. We see that if we zoom out a little bit, that this is just one big impulse, one big correction, and then impulse, correction, impulse. Right? That is really one possibility. And lower time frame wise, you're seeing price getting squeezed here, right? You can see this is a clearly kind of ascending channel, lower time frame within this ascending channel. Okay, so be interesting to see what price will do. Is it going to impulse out here and then continue push down? I would be more paying attention if I see that to happen and then a correction to build here to confirm that this is a clear impulse, this is a correction, looking for the next impulse. Okay, and until I see that, then I'm not too interested in the sell, right? And if in the short time, this can be just a buy potential, right? You can see that this is the bottom. You can be a double bottom here and price push up to the upside, and potentially this can be a bullish push. Okay, and that's why a little bit more confirmation from the market if you're looking for sell would be waiting for that to break out and then waiting for the correction. If not, then I'm not going to be in the buy or sell. There's better trades out there for me to take, and not looking for this one to get in. Okay. So that is Euro CAD. So let's talk about Euro Pound. Okay, Euro Pound. So I think a lot of you guys talk about euro pound. I think you guys all like euro pound as well, right? So let's talk about euro pound here. Personally, I do like the euro pound that can have that potential short-term up move. Okay, I do see that happening. Overall price action, if we zoom out on the higher time frame, this is the higher time frame daily. That to me, we're just in this overall larger kind of a correction. It's not continuation nor reversal. It's just a large kind of a structure. It's consolidating. Okay. I can only see what the latest price action. So if we go down to lower time frame, that we can see this is an impulse, that this can just be a larger kind of correction and then still continue downwards and making this overall ascending channel just a large continuation channel. So what I like about the latest price action is that there's a period of just kind of erratic kind of movement here. It's not too clean to me, but the latest price action, we had this clear descending channel. There's a descending channel. Within this descending channel, you had this clean bullish impulse up, and then clean bullish kind of a continuation structure. You can call this a flag or a parallel channel, whatever it is. It looks to me is very clean as a continuation. Impulse correction, looking for the next impulse. Very simple within this larger channel, right? It's very clean to me. How I would approach this is, you can see price is somewhat erratic in this overall channel. So I'm not just going to be buying here because it hit some trend line or break some trend lines. I want to see confirmation breakout and then lower time frame correction to confirm that this correction is over. We could be getting the next impulsive phase of the market, and that correction lower time frame is going to give you a little bit more confirmation for the trade to the upside. And I will see what the trade will do at the double top here, or the top of the overall channel. And then to me, that this is the impulse, this is a correction, so price may reverse in this area downwards. All right, but short-term wise, I do see this buy very probable. I do see the risk reward here as well. Okay, so that is euro pound. All right, so let's talk about euro kiwi. I think again this was brought up by you guys, right? And remember, again, I'm gonna say this in my weekly outlook. Did I not talk about this right shoulder pop up? Right, I mentioned this in the weekly outlook, just like I mentioned the euro Aussie trade. I personally didn't get in this, but I mentioned that understanding what the price will do, will give you a better clue on the overall price condition. Remember, there was a few trades that I took in on euro kiwi. Let me see if I can still find it. I think I still have it. So that was the first euro kiwi trade. There was another euro kiwi trade, right? So I took both of these trades. I put them on Telegram, right? Those of you guys who follow me knew that these are the trades I took. Every time when the price is at the top, I will be looking for sell setup because I see the structure as this is the impulse, this is a correction potentially to push the price down. But you see that every time when we reach the previous low, price is telling you otherwise, right? You are starting to send this descending channel, clearly a reversal structure because price is no longer impulsively pushed down anymore. It's in this consolidation. I don't like that, right? That's why I move my stop to just above the structure. Take me out, that's fine, and moving on, right? And then again, when price is at the top, at the first push down, this was the first entry I got as well. Just happened to get tagged out here if I remember. And but I managed to get in on the second one on the breakout. So again, impulse, correction, impulse, very clean. But when price about to reach this previous low and price action, it's always going to give you some hint, and you just have to find out, right? To me, this was like a descending channel on a lower time frame, not the same scale as this, but very similar price action. You had the impulse all the way down. There was just no kind of continuation to push the price anymore. We're approaching this previous low, and there's just prices not very impulsively pushing down, and that's why I just managed to put my stop around this area. I don't want to see a deeper correction that will be forming here and then taking out my original profit. So that's why I move my stop here and then just get taken out about 2.521. So overall, very happy with the overall result, and understanding that when price failed to break below twice, and then you can see that when price had its impulse push up and start being this consolidation correction, then I said this is going to form an inverse head and shoulder, right? I talk about this in the weekly outlook when price is only about this area. I said wait for this correction to develop, okay, wait for this to continue, you're likely going to see the next impulse, right? So we do get this, and if you're not in the trade, definitely don't just jump into the trade now, right? Because we're approaching the previous top now, and who to say that we won't just see the price over like this again every time we hit the top, every time we hit the top, every time we hit the top, we're going to get the next bearish push down. Okay, so don't just jump in this because you already missed the majority of the buy already. So don't jump into the buy now. See what the price will do in this area. Is it going to form some sort of price reversal kind of price action? Then potentially you could be looking for a sell. From the top is always going to give you the best risk reward. Or is it going to be like any other Euro Aussie pair now? We're just going to be breaking above the previous high now, and then the bearish kind of a move is no longer valid, and a new bullish move can start to happen, right? So that can be a possibility as well, guys. So don't discount that. But now, in my opinion, I would just be on the sideline for now, see what the price will do in this general area. Okay, so that is Euro Kiwi. Let's continue. A few more ones that you guys asked me to talk about. Pound Aussie, right? Pound Aussie was mentioned a few times in the Telegram. And Pound Kiwi, right? Okay. So Pound Aussie, Pound Kiwi. You'll see they're not on my kind of to go watch list. I'll explain this why. There's just a little bit better pairs or better setup involving those pairs that looks better to me, and I'd rather take those instead. So let me explain this. Overall high time frame, right? Don't get me wrong. Overall high time frame, I am definitely seeing long-term bearish move, right? This is very clean and clear price action on the higher time frame. You had this impulse, you had this correction, and you have this ascending channel within this kind of a parallel channel, and then next impulse down. Just very clean on the higher time frame. Ultimately, yes, I do see bearish move down. Okay, I see that happening in months or years. It's not that I don't see this as a correction to push down. I want to see a little bit more development. I'll explain this why on the lower time frame. This is the same as Euro Aussie, right? Very similar like Euro Aussie. They're very correlated, of course. And that Euro Aussie, remember when price is same thing when it's like at the top of this overall structure. And some of you guys are talking potential short. We're seeing pretty much similarly on Pound Aussie, right? We're at this top of the structure now, right? I'm sure some of you guys probably draw it the same way as how I'm doing here. So this can be a structure here. And I don't know how your guys are seeing this overall area, but likely you're seeing this as a potential possibility that a reversal can happen and that you'll be looking for some sort of sell, right? That is all good. The only thing I see is that there's this previous high, right? Of course, structure can just start falling from this point forward. Sorry, structure can start dropping down from this point forward. That's one possibility. But I see this as a very strong push out. I haven't really seen much structure here. Okay, I don't know how you guys are seeing this, but I'm not seeing much structure. This could be a potential structure when price was in this area, but we didn't get the push out, right? Instead, price continue higher. I want to see more development. I don't want to just see some candle and start shorting it. That's not how I trade. Is it going to continue upwards and then maybe a reversal kind of price action, push the price down, and then lower time frame continuation? That's something I want to wait for a little more to develop, right? Other than that, same thing can happen just like what happened to Euro Aussie, right? You can just see this price continue push up and then lower time frame continuation, and this trade is start becoming a reversal. This becomes a reversal correction, and this just start climbing up and up, right? So don't just jump in because you see that this is a structure here that you think this is going to go down. I'm just going to blindly enter a sell here with no strategy or no plan. Okay, you must have a plan or a strategy to get in place in order for you to not catch these emotional trades, right? So that was my idea, right? Either wait for some sort of reversal price action, wait for the price push down, and then wait for more correction to push down. Other than that, happy to be on the sideline. Don't want to jump into this one, even though I understand that higher time frame there's a good chance, but you're not going to enter a trade with a couple hundred stop loss pits, right? You're likely to be entering trades with a smaller stop loss And if you're getting catch when the price is in this consolidation period, you're likely to just get tagged out, right? You want to be in the impulsive raise. You want to be in the next impulsive raise. You'll lose some pips, but it gives you the confirmation to continue like this. All right. So that is pound Aussie. Pound Kiwi is also brought up as well, right? Pound Kiwi is one that you guys been asking me. You go for gold too. I'm gonna talk about gold after all the forex, okay? So very soon. So pound Kiwi. Let's take a look. Honestly, I'm not seeing much on pound Kiwi. I'll be honest. Pound Aussie, even like pound Aussie, actually has a potential structure here. Sorry, potential structure here. Whereas pound Kiwi, I'm not even seeing much yet. So I'm not sure how you guys are seeing it. But personally, I'm not seeing much. The only thing I'm really seeing is that maybe you guys are seeing this as a head and shoulder. I'm not sure. But I don't like this overall price action if you guys are looking for a short. This looks to me that this was an impulse, and this is a reversal correction impulse, and this becomes a continuation correction to push up. So if you're looking for a sell, I don't see much because we're at this bottom, this area now. We did have this head and shoulder pattern. Okay, it's good, but this latest kind of price action is a little bit choppy or indecisive. While I do see, same as pound Aussie, that I do see the same idea, impulse, correction, impulse, right? This is basic understanding. But is it just going to start falling from here? Not likely. Okay, you can just start moving up and down continuously, and structurally, nothing changes. Price action still works. Nothing changes. You're still in the period of consolidation. It's just not ready to fall from this point forward. So personally not seeing much. If I want to put a more of a forecast, I would see that price can continue upwards and continue up like this. I really don't see much bearish move, and not on my favor to be on watch either. All right. So I think that's everything. That's pound Kiwi. Okay, so it's most of the forex ones that you guys mentioned in my chat. If there's any questions on any of the pairs, I'll jump into commodities. And really the only one that everyone's looking at is gold, right? So let's look at gold. If there's no question, I'll start gold and I'll finish crypto at the end. Okay, not much on crypto either, so I'm almost done. So if you have any question, if you wait 5-10 minutes, I'll get to those. So let's look at gold. So I based on what you guys are saying, Telegram, I think most of you guys are looking at gold, and I do see a potential sell. Okay, I do see probably most of you guys are looking for sell anyways. Okay, I do see sell potential on gold. To me that we had this impulse, larger correction, impulse, correction, just looking for the next impulse to the previous low. And I talk about this every time I talk about gold. I'll talk about it again. Is that don't forget that daily higher time frame that we just had a strong impulse up. This can just be a continuation correction to push the price up. So never forget about the other possibility, right? So while I do have a short-term bias for a sell, I am not forgetting the fact that the higher time frame can continue, right? So lower time frame, we had this impulse. Remember, you guys, that I got in this sell from here. This was a clean sell for me when price was in this area. Had the sell push down, and then now we're just in this larger kind of a consolidation. Again, ascending channel and latest price action. You can really argue that this is a head and shoulder pattern, and there's potential parallel channel building here. This is the impulse, continuation correction, looking for the next push out. And I think some of you guys might have taken it from here. I'm not sure. Personally, I didn't get into any of these. I was more looking for the breakout from this correction, just like my previous trade, that I want to see the breakout from this correction, the larger correction, right? And then looking for a small lower time frame continuation here to push the price lower. That is going to be more safer for me, or more on my strategy. It's a little bit more tight on risk management, because I don't want to jumping here when it's going to consolidate here a bit longer, and it might even just go to the top here once again, hitting a double top or some sort of M style pattern, and still drop, and you're going to be upset at yourself that you jump into the trade too early. Okay, so personally, waiting for the breakout, waiting for a lower time frame correction to push the price lower, and then kind of reevaluate to see what the price will do in this area. So that's gold, guys. Not much on the other commodities. I don't see much around. Okay, oil settle. I'm not seeing too much either, and just gold. And like I said, waiting a little bit more development in this area. All right. So let's jump to. Is there any question on this one, guys? Before I just quickly go through crypto. I don't see much on crypto either. I'll go through crypto, and then I'm happy to answer some questions if you guys have some questions. Happy to answer some other questions I got privately as well. So let's go. So let's look at Cardano. Still not developing too much, but I do like the potential bullish move. We got this descending channel, inverse head and shoulder pattern, impulse, impulse, correction, impulse, and then there's a small correction here. Can this be the next push up? Could be. Okay, don't get me wrong that this was already the correction to push out, so this is already a potential continuation. Now this can just start taking off from here. Okay, so that's Cardano. Let's look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin actually pop out. That's good, right? I talk about this is the higher time frame structure. We had the first impulse, first continuation correction, and then, looking for the price to continue higher. And lower time frame wise, this could be just a smaller structure, smaller continuation correction for this one, and this one is just a small continuation correction for the larger overall channel. So that's how price move. You go to different time frame, you're going to give yourself more confluence as you go through it, more like multi-time frame. So Bitcoin still looking for upside and see what the price would do at this previous top. Ethereum, very similar like Bitcoin. You had this overall breakout from this higher time frame structure, and then you had this kind of parallel channel as a continuation correction to continue push the price higher. The only really one I want to be getting is Link. Link is still my favorite and still is now. I still like the overall higher time frame that we have this pretty much clean impulse, right? There is a few impulse, and then you just have this larger continuation correction, and you're seeing these kind of channel structure over and over again, and you know that once you see this impulse, once you see this correction, this can just be a longer correction, but the point is, once this correction is over, you're going to get the next push up, right? Once this correction is over, get the next push up. So be a little bit more patient, waiting for a little bit more development, but I do like Link the most out of all the cryptos. Those of you know me, I don't day trade crypto. I'm doing it more as an investment, more like a long-term hold. I don't usually want to sell crypto anyways, just like equities and stocks and things like that, more holding it for long term. So for crypto wise, if I'm going to get in, I'm going to hold it for a longer period. That's why I'm not interested in some day trading setups. OMG, last one I talk about. Surprised me that it didn't like continue a little bit more impulsively. It's actually very corrected price action. I didn't like that we had. I like that we had this inverse head and shoulder pattern, but we didn't get this push up and then continuation correction to continue higher. This is a little bit corrective and choppy, and want to see what the price would do in this area. We did pop to the upside, but that doesn't mean anything. Okay, you want to see a little bit more development on the price to continue higher. Okay, that is all the crypto I'm looking at, guys. Okay, not much here. Only Link looks good. Other than that, not much is on my watch list for crypto. And that is all, guys. That is all the one I'm looking at for this next 24, 48 hours. So happy to answer some questions, guys. If you guys have any questions on everything, any trades, happy to spend a little bit of time answering them. So if you have any questions or you have any pairs you want me to go over, happy to go over it now. there's someone messaged me. Can you go over the dollar pair that you're in again? Yeah. So Aussie dollar, I'll go over Aussie dollar really quick. Let's look at the daily. I'll start from the higher time frame. It gives you more clue. Double top. I'm looking at this as that price we're at this higher time frame double top. Okay, so that's the first indication that we may get reversal. And every time when I see price is in this corrective kind of ascending channel kind of a structure, you know that this is going to be a reversal, even though prices continue moving up, but it's not moving up impulsively. Okay, this is different. When price is in the impulsive phase, it's going to move fast. When price is consolidating, it's going to consolidate. It's going to move, but it's not going to move fast. Okay, there's a difference in that. So when we see prices in this overall ascending channel and you finally see a clean breakout, you always want to look for a continuation to push the price. It's always going to give you the best risk reward and the best probability. Okay, not guarantee. I talk about this, not guaranteed, but the best probability setup. Okay, and that's what you want to look for as a trader. You want to consistently getting these higher probability setups. That's going to help you to increase your account, right? You don't want to get stuck in a period consolidation where, yes, your trade may or may not work out, but your risk, your profit or your target will be very limited. All right, there's a difference in that. So going down to lower time frame, I understand that every time when price is had an impulse move, it's going to be a period consolidation or correction. And you're going to get the next impulse move. You're going to get the next continuation correction. So you want to be in the next impulsive phase, right? This is the next impulsive phase, and we're just about halfway through. If we look at this as the overall impulse, and that we had about 380 pip move or so, so you're pretty much going to see the next impulse to, pretty much the next low, right? That's how the price move. You have the impulse, correction, impulse. Okay, so that is why I like these dollar ones I'm in, and I like Aussie Yen as well, which I'll go over. And just to see what price would do, again, you're going to monitor the price, right? You're going to see what the price will do at previous low, and then if it's going to break out, looking for a continuation to push price down lower, but possibly scaling in the trade as well. That's also a possibility, and that would be pretty good risk reward. I understand that we're in the impulsive phase, so you want to be able to capitalize it when the price is moving. All right, so that is Aussie dollar. Great summary, Jojo. What's your max risk amount per trade and how many open trade at a time? Here, let me see if I can show you this. This is my Telegram, right? Those of you who are new, I remember I talked about I made a new account and I have these rules in place. So basically, I'm not going to have 2 or more same currency trade open unless they're at break even or in profit. So pretty much in this case, that I'll have $2 pair open, 2 Aussie pair open, 2 Yen pairs open, and that's pretty much max threshold for them unless they're at break even, which they are. But I don't want to jump in unless either they're in at least 1-to-1 profit or so. That is just based on the price. Okay, so that's kind of my way to manage the trade, even on a small account or on a large account. Okay, this is why I open a small account here and put it on my FX book if you guys are interested, to show you guys that it doesn't matter about the amount of money you're trading, your trading style or how you do should be relatively the same, right? Because if you're trading, let's say $1,000 account versus a $100,000 account, in order for you to be consistent, they should be the same. All right. And I find a lot of beginner traders when they're trading, when they first get into trading, they often want to turn their $100 into 10,000 and often fail very fast, right? And that is why if you can manage a $100 account consistently, then you can manage a $100,000 account consistently as well. All right. And that's my belief on that. Okay. So hope that answers your question. That's going to be the same either on my small account or on my regular account in terms of risk amount, how many trades open, and things like that. Okay. So can I look at VIX? Yeah, I can look at VIX. So because obviously VIX is inverse correlated to S&P 500, okay, it's that it's pretty much going to be reversal, right? How I see this is that this can be a correction and we can get the next push up. That's all I see here at this moment. Okay, you see that price is always going to be in this kind of a descending kind of formation, and then you see the next price pop out to the upside. So I want to see this bullish push up, some sort of bullish lower time frame correction to continue the price up. But not my favorite. I prefer, like I said, S&P, Nasdaq. They all look better, okay, than let's say down and VIX. Even though S&P and VIX supposed to mirror, but S&P had just better price action than VIX. Okay. So that is, hope that answers your question on that. Good. So anything else, guys? Any other questions you want me to take a look? Any other pairs? I just double checking my Telegram. I think I went over all the things in US indices. Yeah, that's about it, guys. There's a good question. So is it ironic that Euro Aussie is showing bullish action while Euro CAD is showing bearish? Won't this Euro move the same? A bit hesitate to take trades since they're moving oppositely. Thank you. Well, here's the thing, guys. You have to understand that the market doesn't need to move what you think it's going to move. Okay, and I know it sounds kind of like cheesy. Yeah, no doubt, right? But it really means that if you want to ask me, that doesn't mean that all the euro pair will move the same, just like doesn't mean that all the dollar pair will move the same. Okay, this is very key here, is that to me, Euro Aussie is moving up because Aussie is weak, right? If you look at all the Aussie pair, are you not seeing Aussie pair weak, right? Every single Aussie pair is weak, right? If you look at it, it's all bearish. There's not a single Aussie pair that's not bearish. Even pound Aussie is moving up. And this is also why a little bit hesitate to short here. I think some of you guys are looking for that. So Euro Aussie, because Aussie is weak, so this is popping to the upside, right? And let's look at CAD pairs. So Euro CAD, uh, this could be bearish, but it's not too clear. So let's look at a few other CAD pairs, right? Let's look at dollar CAD. What is dollar CAD doing? It looks to me it's going to be a little bit bullish, okay? Let's look at other CAD. Aussie CAD, clearly CAD is stronger, okay? CAD Yen, looks like CAD is stronger at this moment. And CAD Swiss, looks like CAD is weaker, right? So it's a little bit erratic. It's not same. See, CAD is stronger a little point, and pound CAD a little bit erratic like this, right? So don't look at it as every euro pair needs to go to the same direction. Rather, you're looking at it individually. So I'm looking at Euro Aussie individually, whereas I'll look at Euro CAD individually. I will pay attention to what the other pair, the correlation is doing, but that's not the reason why I will stop the trade or why I will enter the trade. Okay, is individually what the actual pair is doing. Not, I don't look at it. Okay, all the other pair is doing, all the other CAD pair is bullish. That means that Euro CAD cannot be bearish or something. It doesn't have to be like that, right, guys? Correlation doesn't always have to work. Okay, just because it works a lot of time doesn't mean that it will work this time, right? It gives you a percentage or probability that it will likely to move the same, but doesn't have to. All right, so I hope that clears that a little bit. Okay, that is at least how I see in terms of that question. Euro Aussie, Euro CAD. Euro Aussie is definitely weak. Aussie is weaker. That's really all the reason why it's popping to the upside. But if you look at, let's look at all the euro pairs now to give you more clarity. Euro dollar a little bit indecisive, but ultimately I want to say this is bearish. If you look at Euro Aussie, because Aussie weak, Euro is popping off, right? And then if you look at Euro CAD, potentially this is the impulse correction impulse. So this could be Euro getting weaker. And then Euro Swiss. Euro Swiss, I usually don't touch it because it's very erratic. I don't really like to, I don't think I've ever really traded Euro Swiss, to be honest. I don't really like Euro Swiss. But if I really want to take a look here, it's still very erratic. There's not much going on. Euro pound looks like it's going to give you short-term bullish. So short-term bullish on euro, and then euro kiwi looks like it's bullish as well, right? So If you're just solely compared to the euro pairs, there's more euro. There's again, some euro pairs are weaker, some euro pairs are stronger, right? So it's hard to base on just looking at all the euro pairs and make a decision on that. So make it simplicity. Just look at the pair itself, right? Keep in mind of correlation, but see what the pair is doing, right, individually, and then don't let the outside kind of noise to get to you. All right. So any other question, guys? Hope that answers most of you guys' question. Oh yeah, I want to go over this question. This was someone private messaged me, and I think I went over this last one weekly. Like I'll go over this again because this is a good education or quick education. Again, the question's about price action. Do they always work or do they not always work, right? I make this post last time, right, about price action structures and things like that. The point is you have to understand trading is a probability. It's not right or wrong. And I talk about this in the Telegram all the time, is that you're not guaranteed a trade's going to go in your favor, or you're not guaranteed the trade's going to take you out. That's not how it works. It's more as a probability, right? You want to be in the probable setup. When price is in the impulsive phase, there's going to be a higher probability, not guarantee, that you're going to see the next kind of fast momentum in the market, right? And price action, if we just look at previous price action, because that's how price action works, it always repeats itself and it always gives you a clue. It kind of gives you a clue prior that's going to happen, right? We look at this, and I explained this many times, and I want to explain this again, is that you have to understand when price is in the impulsive stage of the market, your trades are likely to go hit your target or hit profit. Whereas when you're in the correctional phase, your profit is often limited because you're pretty much in a period of consolidation. Your buy move from here is going to hit the top very soon. Your sell move will hit the bottom, right? Price is in this period of ranging or consolidation, whatever people call in different strategy. But the point is, it's in the corrective phase. But every time when the market finish its corrective phase, you're going to get the next impulsive phase, because that's how the market moves. It doesn't move randomly, right? It has to move in some sort of fashion, right? And these corrections, these moves, they're not going to be textbook, right? They're not going to be perfect. They're not going to be textbook where you're just going to identify, right? You people learn about, okay, head and shoulder pattern, right? You learn this over and over again in any kind of strategy or style. But is the price always going to give you this clean head and shoulder? No, it's really not, right? You have to understand that is that the market is not perfect. It can do whatever it wants to do, and that you need to be able to accept what it's doing. You need to adjust, need to evolve, right? But the overall price condition, right? When we have an impulse, when we have a correction, you're going to get the next impulse, very high probability. And this is what happened in the same thing in this area, right? You're going to get this ascending channel. You're going to have the next impulse. You're going to have the first correction. You want to be getting the next impulse, right? This is going to be the higher probability setup that you want to be in. You don't want to be trading in this area where price is a little bit more corrective. You want to be in the impulsive stage of the price condition. You're going to maximize your profit. All right, so I hope that answered the question again, because it's just a question I got a lot from different guys. And usually I'm getting this question from newer traders, okay? I'm not, pointing you guys out for no reason. I'm saying newer traders because newer traders are often just getting to the market. They're learning about strategies, they're learning about trading styles and things like that. And they often jump from strategy to strategy because they'll trade one strategy, it doesn't work out in a few trades, and they're trying to jump into other things right away. That's really not how trading works, guys. You have to understand that the trade is not always going to work out in your favor. Doesn't matter what strategies or style you do, there's no guaranteed profit. It's about being consistent on your strategy, being consistently taking the trades, whether they're in win or loss, right? Don't let emotion get to you, and consistently compound your return, right? There's no right and wrong trading. As I always say, you're just trying to catch the market, right? You're never going to hold a trade here and sell it here. You're never going to make all this profit in one go. What you can do is you understand that we had an impulse, part of the higher time frame correction. We had a higher time frame correction here, and then looking for the next impulse. You want to capitalize on some of it. Okay, that's really the difference. All right. Does it mean if you were to take Euro Aussie and Euro CAD both at 1% or still at half each since they're still correlated? To be honest, I'll only take one because, like you said, there's no point taking one buy euro and one sell euro. It just doesn't make sense. I'd rather just stick to one trade if I'm going to take, because they're showing me opposite direction. Whereas if there's Euro Aussie and Euro Kiwi, where both I'm looking at it as a buy, then I can take both buy because that both of them are telling me that it's going to be a potential buy setup. Whereas Euro Aussie and Euro CAD, like I said, one is looking bullish, one is looking bearish, right? So there's no point for me to take both because you're either going to have one trade work out, the other trade doesn't work out. So you're just gonna be minus one trade for the other one anyways. So I wouldn't do that. All right, so that is it, guys. I'm not seeing any other questions. Anything? I think I've answered, like I said, most of the questions already. If you have any questions, let me know in the Telegram channel. Those of you who join, happy to see new faces in there, and feel free to ask me questions or ask questions to the other guys, and happy to answer them. And if there's no other questions, I will see you guys next time. I will do another stream. My schedule this week's a little bit busy, so I will have to post a link in the Telegram, very not too ahead of time. I apologize, okay? I will post a link, but I will let you guys know, but hopefully let you guys know sooner. Like tonight, looks like a lot of you guys turn on, so that's good. So I'm trying to find a copy of your trading rules. Any chance of sending a link? It's in my Telegram. You have my Telegram, right, Richie? Just click the channel, my channel one, click the pin message, and then the next message will be the one that shows all my kind of risk management or rules, so to speak. So check the channel, check the pin message, and scroll down to the next message will be the one I am showing you here. Okay, this one I'm showing you right now, it's all going to be on in the channel one, all right, in the channel group. Okay, so that's it, guys. So that is all the ones I'm looking at. So feel free to look at these or ask me questions if you have in the Telegram, and then I will see you guys all next time. All right. So thank you very much, and thank you for seeing a lot of new faces. I hope to see you guys in my Telegram. And have a nice day, everyone. Be safe out there, and see you on the next stream.